I'm Christina Kahn.
And I'm Leela Hilton.
And this is Burn Before Reading, a podcast about literature.
Here we are to discuss the terrible writing we did when we were younger and touch on some cringy literary topics and nostalgia.
How the fuck have you been lately, Leela?
It's been a little bit rough.
It's been 3 weeks since you looked at me or whatever.
Yeah, it feels like 3 years since you've looked at me.
Yeah, guys.
But also like no time at all because we record constantly.
I know, but also there's something has happened since our last episode. Well, no, actually, because we recorded with Gigi and we told them what was happening.
This is true.
Something has happened since before that.
And really, and by that, I guess what we mean is nothing has happened. Like there has been like a horrible amount of ice. There was like a big ice storm last Saturday.
We live in Richmond, Virginia, and like we're just really not equipped for winter weather. And like most years we get like a couple inches of snow. It fucks us up for like a day or two.
Yeah.
But this year we got a couple inches of snow and then a couple inches of ice on top of it, which is bad. That's bad.
Like 4 or 5 inches of ice, I would say, like very thick.
So Leela, what's your cringe this week?
My cringe is that I've just really been kind of stranded in my house, to the point that like, because I really like to stay physically active, you know, like I like to at least like be able to go on a nice long walk in my neighborhood, at the bare minimum, like go to the gym, and I couldn't even do that. Like I take a step outside and like my feet just fly out from under me because it's really thick ice. It's thick ice, and honestly, the storm occurred last Saturday night.
Yeah, like Sunday,
and it is now a week from then, and only just now I feel like our things actually starting to kind of melt. And like they're
fully. Not even really melting. Like we had like a couple hours of melting on Thursday.
Yeah,
that made it so that the roads were passable, but the sidewalks are completely impassable. Living in a city that's full of renters, people just like aren't taking care of their sidewalks.
Yeah,
I did not take care of my sidewalk in front of my building. There's fucking like 15 of us in this building.
Yeah, no, I mean it should really be on your landlord to do that, but they're not going to.
Well, salted, but they're not going to come out and snow shovel.
And the problem is that like once the ice is down, salt and sand I don't think really do too much.
The sand, I have been walking a lot on the ice because I live in the city and that's how I'm getting places, and also because like you said, like I can't just be still if I like literally can go out.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, I don't know, I think the salt is to prevent the ice from forming, but there was no preventing this.
Sure.
The sand does help where it
adds like some grit,
traction. Yeah, but I will say like in some places there's just like a pure unadulterated sheet of ice. Sand doesn't do much there, but where there's already a little bit of texture, the sand helps a lot. I think
makes sense. So that's just my cringes. I feel like I've been totally stuck, and I live a bit outside of the city. It's really not ever a problem for me because it's a very quick drive for me to the city, like 10 to 15 minutes very tops.
Yeah, but it's not walkable.
I
mean, you can walk, you just can't get anywhere.
And it's not close to like all of my other friends who generally live very close to each other in the city, so like it's possible for you guys to like slip and slide to each other.
I will say that like that's we were talking about this in our girl chat. That's a bit of an illusion because the only people left in the city right now are me, Mia, and Becca, and we live probably like a mile apart in like a perfect mile triangle.
That's right, because Rachel lives further downtown.
She lives in Churchill. And then Anna moved to Northside. Like there's no one it's just the three of us left in the city.
Is Emily in Northside as well?
Emily's in Jackson. We're doxing all of our friends.
And also like none of you guys care.
There's Haley too. Haley lives in the city.
Good old Haley. Have you seen her since
Yeah, she came out yesterday.
Okay, good.
I made her because she was like resistant to, and I was like, no offense, but I think you especially need to leave the house when you can.
You must. So, yeah, I've just been feeling really bored, really stir crazy. And yeah, so there's that. That's my cringe. What about you, Christina? Is it a related cringe?
Yeah, it is a related cringe. Glances at my hands. They're still there. No, I my cringe is definitely related to the ice. So I Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I stayed inside completely alone. I live on my own in an apartment, just me and my kitty cat. I wanted to hang out with one of my neighbors, but she was like, oh, sorry, I went to my friend's house to get snowed in. And I was like, fuck, you're the only one I'm friends with. So on Wednesday, I ventured out of my home to go to our friend Mia's house, who, as I mentioned, she lives about a mile from me. And like, believe me when I say, like, I know that we sound like Southern idiots, and we are, but like walking on ice is like not a cool, fun thing, I think, for anyone. But I just like had to go. I also had to go to the grocery store. I was out of dish soap. I don't have a dishwasher. And I have a very small kitchen. So it's kind of like if I run out of forks.
Yeah.
Like, well,
what do you do?
Gotta use forks.
Yeah.
Like I was running out of dish soap and like tissues because I had been sick last weekend. So I was like, I just have to get more of those. I use hankies, but like when you're sick and there's quantity.
Yeah.
You need tissues.
You need some Puffs Plus.
So I had to go to the grocery store anyway. Mia's house is right next to the grocery store. And I walked all the way to the grocery store. No big deal. There's a lot of like slipping, almost falling, but I didn't fall. A lot of people were like out and about, and like we were like just passing each other at like 1 mile per hour. I found it to be like a great adventure, right? I was like giggling, I was listening to my music or my podcast or whatever. But like there just like are certain points that are treacherous. And so I was like across the street from the grocery store. I jaywalked because like the crosswalk also wasn't good. You know what I mean? I've never felt more like a ranger. Like, you know how Aragorn's a ranger,
yes.
And he can like put his ear to the ground and be like, they're 4 miles away. Because you would go to every intersection you would go to, you would like stop to survey the land, you know,
yes.
and pick your best route. So I was like, I'm gonna jaywalk because it's like more melted in the middle of the street. I walk, and like, not to be this way, but like when there's no snow, I just stay jaywalking constantly.
Yeah, I think that the only cities that care about that shit are like big actual cities like LA and like maybe New York.
Certainly not New York.
Okay, well, I've heard it's bad in LA.
I got in trouble in Amsterdam for jaywalking.
Places where they care about their citizens' safety.
Yeah, not here.
Yeah.
It also just doesn't make sense because sometimes you get to an intersection, you're like, there's no crosswalk here.
Yeah,
what am I supposed to do?
Keep walking for
keep walking. No. So anyway, I crossed the street, and I crossed the street. The next thing, by the way, right before I crossed the street on like the side of the sidewalk that I was already on, there was like a massive splash zone of a coffee. Somebody obviously went down with like a full coffee. It was really sad.
Hate to see it.
Yeah, it was completely frozen. But so I got into the street, I shuffled across the street, and I got to the curb, and the curb was like a perfect like dome of ice. And I like looked at it and I was like, I'm gonna step up here as carefully as I can. I'm probably gonna fall down. Right? I just saw it and I was like, I'm gonna do everything I can. I'm probably gonna fall down. And I have these fleece mittens that I love so much. They're fleece on the inside, they're like knit on the outside. I love them so much. But like I keep doing this where I like overdress. It's only like 15-20 degrees here. It's not like absolutely frigid. And especially in broad sunlight, like that gets warm. If you have your parka on and you're like moving your body, that gets really warm. So I had worn my mittens as much as I can because I was like, if I go down on my hands, I want it to be mittens, right? Like not skin. But I had gotten so hot, I took my mittens off. So I was like stepping up onto this curb that I knew I was going to fall down on. So what I did was I stabilized myself on a telephone pole. I grasped the telephone pole with both my hands and I stepped onto this curb and I slipped and I went down just like I knew I was going to. But what I could never have predicted, well, this part I probably could have predicted. I got 85 splinters on the way down. Here's the part I never could have predicted. The telephone pole, the wood was so old that it like was not wood. It wasn't sharp. It was like dirt. So I got 85 is dramatic. I got probably about 20 splinters of like not
like pickable out wood.
They weren't sharp. Yeah, you could not just like grab the point and pull it out. No, they were deeply embedded into my skin. And they were dirt. It was dirt, basically. So I was bleeding in a couple places. So I just laughed. I've been doing a lot of laughing on this ice. I just laughed. I scooted my little, and the standing up was so hard. Like, have you ever fallen down ice skating and you're like, I don't know how to stand up right now. I was like, I did it. I didn't eat shit again. I like put my boot, I wore my hiking boots because I have wiggly ankles, and I was like, I need my ankles to be so solid right now. So I put my boot underneath me and I stood, and then I like scooted it like ice skating to the Kroger because I was already in the parking lot. I washed my hands so that that's the best I could do. I washed my hands. I stopped the bleeding. I got my tissues and my dish soap, and then I went to Mia's house, which is about a block away. And I literally opened the door and I said, "Mommy," which probably was super triggering for her because she's been like a mother to an 18-year-old trapped at home for like 8 days. Oh, I said 18-year-old. 18-month-old trapped at home for many days. I was like, "Mommy, please." And she we soaked my hand in hot water. She got her scissors and her tweezers, and she did her best, but there was no getting any of this out. She was like, sorry, but she was like digging around in my fingers. And she just like couldn't do it. And so we just hung out. Got to hang out with her 18-month-old child who's like newly walking. So that was a lot of fun. And then I went home and I like tried a bunch of like at-home I Googled got a bunch of what to do about crumbly splinters, and no one's ever experienced this. I get
Oh no.
They're like, oh, if your splinter breaks in half, and I'm like, no, that's not what's happening here. So I tried like baking soda, which is supposed to make your skin swell enough that it like pushes stuff out.
Okay.
And that got maybe like 20%. Like it definitely got some, but like not the big bad stuff. And my fingers felt mad. So the next day I went to patient first, and a doctor had a beveled needle, which is a needle that is also a shovel. It's like a scooper. He had a beveled needle and what they called the splinter forceps, which are just tweezers, but they call them the splinter forceps. And he had loops, like the glasses that like jewelers and dentists use. And he he scraped the splinters out of my skin. And he made me feel better by telling me that a couple years back he accidentally grabbed a sea urchin and like got a shit ton of like sea urchin spines in his hand and had to have like the same process done to him. So in the end, my hand skin is really tough. And like so today we're recording this on Sunday. I went to the patient first on Thursday, so it's been 3 days, and my hands are like very recovered.
Yeah, like
hand skin is like designed to like get injured and then repair itself really quickly. So I'm like really happy that it's healing. Totally not a big injury, but it was just like that moment of like, I cannot do this on my own. I have to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
So, as Andrew said in the group chat, New Fear unlocked, everyone. Don't grab onto telephone poles because that wood is old. It's just fresh enough to give you a splinter and then crumble into a million pieces.
Yeah, that is horrible. It really is. I really can't even handle the sensation of like a paper cut, like just like something going under my skin.
Small like finger injuries. Yeah, and like everyone at patient first was, first of all, 12 out of 10 patient first experience. I loved it. And everyone at patient first was like, this is not your fault, dude. This is like the worst luck I've ever heard of. Everyone in patient first was there for an ice fall. Everyone.
Wow.
I could hear them coming and going from my little like curtained off room, and like everyone was there because they fall on the ice. So I'm sure they were like, ooh, something other than a head bonk, you know? And like, do you want to hear something crazy? I don't think I told anyone this, but the next day, I think Thursday night, Greer came over. Friday, we were taking a walk on the ice, and I put my hand in my pocket or my mitten, I don't even remember, and I felt this sharp pain, and I pulled my finger out, and there was just like a random splinter, unaffiliated, unrelated, just like a random splinter like hanging out of my finger.
What the hell?
And I couldn't get it, and like Greer, I love him, he got it with his teeth and like spat it into this because I like couldn't get it out, and he like took my hand and he like took it out with his teeth, like spat it into the street, and I was like, oh my god, thank you, daddy. Yeah. But I was like, what is happening to me right now?
Oh my god,
I don't even know where that one came from. That was like totally unrelated.
Maybe you had shoved your hands in.
It was not wood, it was like glass. It was like, it was like translucent.
Oh my god,
I have no idea. Completely inexplicable.
Well, you're a magnet to unmagnetic material these days.
She's splintery.
Oh my God. Well, I'm really sorry that happened to you, and I
Thanks.
agree. New Fear Unlocked.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout, everybody, for things that could jam under your skin.
Oh my God. So sorry that everyone had to hear about this, but I had to live through it. So just looking down at your hands and seeing like 40 angry slashes, like they are truly so healed.
It's like all in the meat of your thumb,
they call
of.
it like the heel of your hand. It's like right under your thumb. Like imagine if this was like a foot, you know, the heel of your hand. So anyway, Leila, let's talk about something nice. Oh my God, this was supposed to be our Valentine's Day episode. Oh my God, remember that cringe when I was so in love with you?
Oh,
it's not cringy. We're here today to talk about something that I put on the schedule. Shakespeare in Love, a 1998 film directed by one John Madden.
which is a funny name. I only know that name. That sounds like a football guy.
That's a football guy. I think they're producing a John Madden biopic this year where Nicolas Cage is playing John Madden.
The football John Madden.
The football John Madden.
Okay.
Nicolas Cage. They will cast that man for anything.
They really will. And he'll take it. He'll take
it.
any job. So
yeah. So John Madden, I just want to for starters, is known for Shakespeare in Love. He directed Proof. Did you see that? Do you remember that?
No.
If I remember correctly, I'm going to click on it actually. Instead of remembering correctly, I'm just going to open it so that I can tell you. Proof. Have you heard of like a mathematical proof?
That sounds familiar, vaguely familiar.
It's like when you have an equation and you need to like write it out to like prove it makes sense. Something like that.
Show your work, yeah.
But anyway, Proof is a 2005 movie with Gwyneth Paltrow and Anthony Hopkins, Jake Gyllenhaal about math.
Great.
I saw it once. Can't remember anything about it. He also directed Captain Corelli's Mandolin, which is a Nicolas Cage film. Although I think this might be a remake because I think the one that Nick did was in the 80s and this one was in 2001. Let me double check. Oh no, that's the one. That's the one. I haven't actually been able to find this streaming, Captain Corelli's Mandolin, so it's one of the few Nicolas Cage movies I haven't seen.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll check because the last time I checked was like 5 years ago. Maybe I'll check that. And in the little preview, he has a mandolin.
Okay.
But the only thing besides those things, Shakespeare in Love, that I think are noteworthy is that he's directed several episodes of the Star Wars radio drama. That's all. I'm not familiar, but it says Star Wars Return of the Jedi radio drama. He directed 6 episodes. Star Wars Empire Strikes Back radio drama. He directed 10 episodes, and these were in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
So so in 81 they did A New Hope and he directed those. In 83 they did Empire Strikes Back and he directed those. Yeah, and then in where'd it go? And then in 96 they did Return of the Jedi and he directed those radio drama.
Okay, so we've got a Star Wars nerd.
For sure. So that's John Madden. So we can move swiftly on from that. But Leila, tell me, had you ever seen Shakespeare in Love?
I don't believe I have, which is very crazy.
It surprised me.
Yeah, it's definitely like the type of movie that I really enjoy watching and always have liked.
Historical romance. Yeah. Starring Gwyneth Paltrow, which, at the time when this movie came out, she was great.
Yeah, this is
pre-Goop.
Yes, this is pre-Goop. This is kind of like pre-Cuckoo.
Also pre-Glee.
Pre-Glee.
I started judging her when she showed up on Glee.
That's fair. And she's just beautiful, charming. She is peak Gwyneth Paltrow to me in this, and in the sense that like you understand. Oh yeah, like I get why Chris Martin wrote Yellow about her. Like that makes a lot of sense.
What do you mean?
Oh, Coldplay.
That's about Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. They
wrote that about Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, they dated and were maybe married for a while.
Did he write that after this movie? Because her hair's so yellow and like all of her outfits are so yellow. That's really interesting.
That album came out in the 90s, so I feel like it was right. She looked like this
or around. Yeah. Interesting.
And she just is effervescent in this film.
Yeah. So did you have any like thoughts, feelings, or like preconceptions before you watched this a couple days ago?
Not really at all. I kind of just
the title.
I knew I would probably like it. Like, that's and I did. I really enjoyed it. I have lots of like good stuff I want to say about it. So.
Okay. So this is a classic. This is not cringe. It's nostalgia. I mean, I do have notes for sure, but like this is not cringe. It's nostalgia because I put this on our list, especially for our Valentine's Day episode, which by the way, happy Valentine's Day, bestie.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I love you.
I love you.
I have seen this a lot of times. This came out in 98. I was 7. I feel like I watched this then. Like, I feel like I watched it like right away. I feel like we owned it. We must have owned it on VHS or DVD because I watched this a lot as a kid. There's like there's like explicit, there's on-screen sex.
There's tits.
There's on-screen girl on top, dick riding. And so I'm like, it's always my dad who showed me movies, never my mom. And I'm like, there's no way he would have shown this to me when I was like 10, but I feel like he did. Not in a weird way, guys. Don't be weird. But like, I feel like I've always known this movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen it a lot, and especially in like high school, I was very obsessed with it. I think partially because that for once, I don't think I was ever really attracted to this Gwyneth Paltrow character. It's big Joseph Fiennes for me. Joseph Fiennes as Shakespeare. He has like the biggest puppy dog eyes. He's so tortured writer. So handsome.
I think physically it's good casting based on portraits of Shakespeare. He looks like hot Shakespeare.
Hot Shakespeare, yeah. And this movie is what I cite when I watch Handmaid's Tale, where he's like balding and sad and a rapist. And I'm like, oh my God.
What happened?
What if you were hot Shakespeare again?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen this a lot, and like I hadn't watched it in probably like 10 or 15 years. You know, I watched a lot through high school and then like kind of didn't fuck with it until I watched it last night, and I was like, oh my God, I recognize so many more names now than I did then. There's so many people in this movie. So Lila, what was your like kind of broad take of this movie when you were watching it? Like how did you feel? What's your like first instinct, how you felt about it while you were watching it?
I loved the it felt like a big budget movie in the sense that there were beautiful sets. Really, it felt like the costumers and makeup artists did a lot of research.
Oh my God, yes. The one thing that I kept noticing is that the highborn ladies, their hairline had been like shaved back. Dame Judi Dench plays Queen Elizabeth I.
Yes.
And her hairline goes all the way back. I'm like, Judi Dench, did you let them shave your head like Avatar Aang style for this?
She's a goddamn professional.
She's such a good Queen Elizabeth.
Notice that they did not do that to Gwyneth, even though...
No way. She's the romantic love interest. You can't do that to Gwyneth.
Yeah, even though it would have been more appropriate, but I'm so glad they didn't.
Well, and also this was the era of women not being allowed to show their hair.
Yeah, and her hair was just like
I have a lot. Okay, maybe we'll get to that. I have a lot of notes about the time period, like inconsistencies, basically.
Yeah, I have one about that too. But generally I really like the grime of it. Not everyone is like this. A lot of people do have nice teeth, but a lot of people don't. Like, a lot of people have fucked up dirty teeth.
I didn't even know. I can't see that well. Who had bad teeth? Jeffrey Rush.
That's
just him, baby.
Like the kid, like that
poor kid.
The poor kid
who tattles. That's his whole role.
Who's based on a real like actor that would have like known Shakespeare at that time. Mm-hmm.
You did some research? He was based on a real guy?
Yeah, I need to like see the wiki so I can remember what his name was. It was like Thomas something.
The Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Oh, wikipedia.com. All right, I'll go.
Well, you see, there's like so many characters' names
it's wikipedia.org. I'm so sorry.
There's so many characters' names that are like underlined, and I'm like, oh my God, they're all real. I love that shit.
Yeah. Dude, I very rarely go to the Wikipedia homepage. I usually type in something and then I click on the Wikipedia link. Something about the Wikipedia homepage, it like hasn't changed in so long. It's like so comforting to me. It's like home, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, look at all these different languages.
I really like oh God, again we need it because I can't think of any proper name, but I really like, you know, it's the other playwright at the time who a lot of people
Christopher Marlowe.
I like that he's in there. Rupert Everett plays him.
Oh yeah, okay, who's that? I recognized him a little bit.
You may recognize his voice as Prince Charming from Shrek 2.
Oh my god, everything is Shrek in the end. Let me click on him. Oh my god, that's so funny. He's not even in like the top billed actors.
No.
I have to go to like additional
I don't
cast.
know like how there's like so many great famous faces in here, and I don't know that they were all super famous yet at this time.
Let me list a couple. Okay, first of all, the last time I watched this, I did not recognize Imelda Staunton, who played Gwyneth Paltrow. What's her character's name?
Viola, yeah.
She Imelda Staunton plays her nurse, and it's just the little square of her face.
Yeah.
I think definitely the last time I watched this was after Harry Potter 5 came out. I just didn't make the connection.
Yeah.
I also was shocked to come across Jim Carter, who plays Juliet's nurse. He's like a big old man actor who's playing like a comically dressed as a woman nurse, and he is the butler Carson in Downton Abbey, who's like a dignified old man with a very low voice. And I was like, that's Carson the butler.
That's so funny.
He's being a lady. Oh, what ladybird? So funny.
So funny. I was surprised to see Arthur Weasley in there.
What's his name? Give me a second. I want to make sure we're getting, because there's everyone just deserves it. So Arthur Weasley, give me oh my god. I don't know who's everyone's name.
Stuttering Steve.
Okay, wait, I have to just type in Arthur Weasley. Mark Williams. He is like he's a nothing part, but he was just here having a good time. Oh yeah, his character's name is Wabash. But he has a stutter, but he plays the like
the narrator,
the chorus. Two households, both alike indignant. So the whole premise of the film, let's clarify.
Yeah,
the whole premise of the film is that this is set in Shakespearean England, Elizabethan England.
Yeah, and
it is like in the middle of Shakespeare's career, and basically the Playhouse The Rose, which is what's the famous playhouse?
The Globe Theater.
The Globe. It's the Globe.
Yeah.
The Rose is like needs his play to keep plays going so that they can earn money so that Geoffrey Rush doesn't get his feet burned off or whatever.
Yes.
But Shakespeare has writer's block. He's fucking this girl Rosalind or something.
It's like the same one from the name from Romeo and Juliet.
Is it Rosaline?
Yeah.
And like basically this highborn lady, Viola, decides she wants to become a player. And so she dresses up as Thomas Kent in the most magical wig you've ever seen. And she gets cast as Romeo in Romeo and Juliet, which Shakespeare is writing as he's having an affair with her. It's an affair because she's supposed to be pure until marriage.
Yes.
So they're having like a sex affair, and he's like taking stuff that's happening like in their real romance and using it to write Romeo and Juliet. And then obviously he's like an artist. She's a highborn noble lady. She has to marry Colin Firth, who's a douche. You almost never see him as a douche, but he did a pretty good job.
Douche in this.
She obviously has to marry a noble man, Colin Firth, and so like Shakespeare channels his like grief at not being able to marry Viola into like the death and tragedy at the end of Shakespeare. Basically, that's the premise. And so so the girl he's fucking at the beginning of the movie is named Rosaline, and then she finds him fucking somebody else. No, he finds her fucking somebody else, and then he's like, "Well, now you're the whore in my book. Good job, idiot.
You could have been a legend.
Could have been a legend." So a couple other people that are in this movie, would you believe that Ned, who my mind is blanking.
Ben Affleck.
I was gonna say not Matt Damon, but the other one.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck is playing like I said afflecked, like I'm afflected by him. He's playing like a bougie actor. Yes. Not bougie, but like a diva. He's playing the diva. And he's so sweet and pretty with his like rosy cheeks. I think he does a good job because he has almost no lines.
And that was a good choice. When I first saw him in this, I was a little taken out.
Took you out a little bit.
And Jason was like, "Oh yeah, this is a Harvey Weinstein production. Of course, fucking Ben
Is
Affleck's
it really?
in it." Yeah, anytime you see Miramax, it's a Harvey Weinstein.
Mr. Weinstein.
And if you remember, Gwyneth Paltrow defended Harvey Weinstein a lot.
I don't remember that. I've blacked out a lot of that
That's
time in
fair.
my life.
Yeah.
So
he was so nice to me on that movie. He's like a good guy.
Yeah, he's probably a really good guy if he was nice to one girl one time.
Yeah.
So we got Jeffrey Rush as Philip Henslow. Does he own the Rose? No, he doesn't. He works for Mr. Fennyman.
And they call it. I think I looked up and he's called like an impresario. So
sexy.
I know it sounds sexy, but I think it's just it's like a manager. He's like the manager.
Okay, so and then there's Mr. Fennyman who runs the Rose, and then on the flip side, there's Martin Clunes who plays Richard Burbage, who owns the other theater. What was that called?
The
other one.
I can't remember.
Yeah, and the big climax of the movie is the Rose gets shut down, and Mr. Fennyman and Mr. Burbage are in conflict, but Mr. Burbage comes and is like, you have a play and no theater. I have a theater and no play. Come play at my theater. Martin Clunes, has he done anything? I'm looking at him. He's played in a show called Doc Martin as, I guess, Doc Martin.
Okay.
Dr. Martin Clunes.
It's like a BBC show or something.
Yeah, he's done nothing I've ever seen. Room on the Broom.
I think that's a famous kids book.
It's they made a movie in 2012, I guess.
Aw.
I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Give me a second. Jim Carter, Colin Firth. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not forgetting anyone. Imelda Staunton. Yeah, that's it, baby. I'm just making sure. Dude, Ben Affleck's casting is so low on this list. They're like, dude, you're just Ned. His name is Ned Allen. Ned. Something about calling him Ned is just so funny to me.
And it's very funny because he is a diva, and so he is used to being the leading actor in everything. And obviously, this play is called Romeo, and at the time, it's Romeo and
Ethel, the pirate's daughter. It's so funny because they start Romeo. No, Shakespeare is faking he has a play that he's already.
Yes,
authors will understand. He's like, oh yeah, I'm writing a play, Romeo and Ethel, the pirate's daughter. And he has not started yet. And the guy's like, okay, cool. Jeffrey Rush is like, that sounds great. Keep writing. And Shakespeare's like, yeah, it's called Romeo and Juliet. And Jeffrey Rush is like, what happened to the pirate's daughter? But it's because he starts fucking a noblewoman. He's like, it's not going to be the pirate's daughter. I love a noblewoman.
But to Ben Affleck, he's like, there's this character Mercutio, which in his defense, Mercutio is one of the.
I think it's in my opinion the best role.
I think it's the most fun to play.
The best, the most fun to play, best role in Romeo and Juliet for a dude.
Yes. And he says, what's the name of the show? And he goes, Mercutio. And then somebody in the background goes, what? And Shakespeare goes, no.
So funny. I think that this play is this movie is very much written for a Shakespeare lover. Yeah. And I also think a lover of period pieces.
Yes.
There's a lot of little jokes in here that I think that perhaps a layperson wouldn't get, or someone who's not one of the very first jokes of the book, and the only note I wrote down. I wrote down one note because I wanted to remember it. But in the very beginning, they're putting on his play something.
Oh, I don't remember what
it's not Romeo and Juliet, and it's not 12th Night because he writes 12th Night at the end.
Yes.
But it's one of his plays, and they're putting on the play, and somebody's just coughing and coughing and coughing in the audience, and he says, these fucking consumptives, they don't want me to succeed. He's talking about tuberculosis, my dude.
Yeah.
Everything is tuberculosis, and he's like, these fucking consumptives want me to fail.
I also think it's even funnier because then they skip back to the audience, and it was the queen who was coughing.
I forgot about that. Dame Judi Dench is an absolute icon as this queen.
She has so much gravitas. She's very cheeky.
She's cheeky in a way that I believe Queen Elizabeth I was, but she supports other women being cheeky in a way that I don't think is period appropriate.
No.
One of my favorite line, my number one favorite line from this movie, which has stuck with me through all time. I might have even mentioned it to you before. It's totally cool if you don't remember. But Colin Firth is like, I'm going to present my fiance, Viola, to the queen to get her approval because I'm so highborn. I need the queen's approval.
Yes.
And so Viola goes with Colin Firth. I can't remember his character's name.
It's like
Lord Wessex.
Yeah.
Would you believe his family's from the West? And like she's standing in front of Queen Elizabeth, and Queen Elizabeth is like, cool, thanks, you can go. They have some back and forth about whatever plays. She likes the theater. I've seen you at the theater, whatever. And Colin Firth is like, so what'd you think, Queen, my queen? And the queen says she's been plucked recently and not by you. And I'm like, don't tell him that. So like, that's to me like the number one there's a lot of unrealistic parts of like Viola having an affair. I call it an affair because like you're just not allowed to have sex out of wedlock.
Yeah.
And she just does. She's fucking Shakespeare. Her nurse, Imelda Staunton, like completely covers it up and like never for 1 second is like, my lady, no. Like the very first time that Shakespeare comes over, you can hear the bed like creaking and creaking, and Imelda Staunton like drags a chair in front of the door so no one goes in, and another maid comes up with like tea, and you can like clearly hear creaking from the bedroom, and Imelda Staunton just starts like rocking her chair and is like, put the tea down, don't worry about it.
She is like such a homie, and she also gets a little hot and bothered when she's sitting in front of that door guarding it. She's fanning
aggressively. I don't think it's hot and bothered. I think it's like hot and shamed.
Okay.
And then like Lord Wessex knows, because the queen tells him that Viola is sleeping with someone else. He finds out that it's Shakespeare. He thinks, well, first of all, okay. Yeah. I have a lot of feelings. I think with very few exceptions, that's just not something that would happen at this time. He would just like simply drag her for being a slut and like not marry her. Yeah. That was like a big deal back then. Her parents are like barely around.
Yeah.
They're around just long enough to like sell her away. He definitely would go to her father and be like, your daughter's not a virgin. Let's test her hymen. Because that's just like how things were back then. He doesn't do that for no good reason. And yeah, the way that the queen is like, she's been plucked lately and not by you. I'm like, I unfortunately think that you need to have an opinion about that. Yeah. For this to be period appropriate. Oh my God, I'm ranting so much. I really do love this movie.
No, I loved it too. There's another line that Queen Elizabeth says at the very end, but we'll get there.
Okay, so you want to save the end for the end?
Yeah. So I'll say the confusion. There's a lot of classic Shakespearean mistaken identities.
Yeah, like this is a Shakespearean tragedy.
Yes,
it's so good.
It's so great. So, Christopher Marlowe. So Shakespeare, there's like a little water taxi system to get across the Thames, and
it's really cute.
It is really cute, and that's her Viola's family lives in a beautiful mansion right across the Thames. And let me tell you something. I was watching with my husband, who notices details about things like buildings that I don't in movies, and he was like, I've seen this building before. And I was like, that's cool. And he looked it up, and it's been in the building, which is where Viola's family lives, has been in so many things.
What other things? That's so interesting.
Bridgerton.
Okay.
It's been, I can't remember
any
others.
It's just like one of those places.
10.
It's just one of those places where people can shoot and it looks like
historical. The Great, that show about Catherine the Great.
Oh yeah.
Lots of shows and movies. Like it's highly filmed. It's not like just on the other side of the Thames. It's somewhere in like, I think like I want to say like the countryside in England.
Wow, that's really cool.
So I thought anyway. So that's where she lives, and Shakespeare is following her dressed as Thomas. What's her name as a boy actor?
Thomas Kent.
Thomas Kent.
I will say that the high production value disguise she's in is a little convincing, but I don't think you could find a girl like less equipped to play as a man than Gwyneth Paltrow.
She's so high pitched and feminine.
Yeah, the voice is like a big problem. It's so high pitched, and like when because like, okay, like as a reminder, these are the days when like a woman was not allowed on stage.
Yeah,
straight up. So Thomas Kent, Gwyneth Paltrow, is playing Romeo. Her Juliet is a man. And like her voice is higher than his.
I think that's so funny. Jason was like, why wouldn't they just make it so she plays Juliet? And I was like,
because even as a man, she's very slight and feminine. It's like easy.
Yeah. And I'm like, that would make sense, but it's not as funny.
Yeah.
It's not as funny. But yeah, so he catches up. He catches up with her. There's like a big party, very reminiscent to that like big ball at the beginning of Romeo and Juliet. And Shakespeare runs into Lord Wessex because he sees Lord Wessex dancing with Gwyneth Paltrow, and then he's like, "Who are you? What's your name? I heard you must be a playwright," because he says something all cheeky and poetic because Shakespeare's so annoying. And he's like, poetry, and it's like, just speak normal, my guy.
I think like regular Shakespeare is a little annoying, and I think Joseph finds Shakespeare is like super I could never fuck this man. He's so annoying.
I mean, he's like similar to Romeo in that sense, where he's just so wistful.
Well, and here's the thing. Here's the another unrealistic part of this movie is he's like, oh, the amount of like romantic melodrama that I'm feeling only makes sense on like a 15-year-old boy. Joseph Fiennes is like 30 in this movie.
Yeah.
He's like, but so like it makes sense on Romeo, or like I'll say even like Leonardo DiCaprio's Romeo, because Leo was quite young when he made that movie. But on Joseph Fiennes, I'm like, dude, come on, man. They never even mentioned, by the way, his wife and son.
They do mention.
They mention it for like 1 second. It's like not a part of this movie.
It's like a quick like part of like a trope that I dislike called the liar's reveal, which is when there's like kind of a misunderstanding or like some
we
like
talked
lie.
about this on our last episode. Was it our last episode with 50 Shades of Grey? We were talking about how like miscommunication as a reason for plot is like pretty disappointing, pretty across the board.
So
and it happens in romance almost always.
Yeah. So she's like, it doesn't really cause that much of a thing. Like she's like, what do you mean you're married? And runs away.
Engaged. This is nothing. This relationship is nothing. We knew this the whole time.
But anyway, at the ball, Lord Wessex is like, what's your name? I know you're some kind of playwright from the way you speak.
From the stupid look on your face.
and your puffy pants. And Shakespeare's like, my name is Christopher Marlowe, and runs away.
Okay, because listen, here's the thing with Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe. They were contemporaries. There's even some theories that Christopher Marlowe wrote some of Shakespeare's plays, if you're into the like Shakespeare didn't exist theory, which I'm not. I'm into the Shakespeare did exist and wrote this shit.
And I'm sure that they stole stuff from each other because, again, there was no copyright.
But like, here's the thing. Kit Marlowe, first of all, they're doing auditions for Romeo and Juliet. Every monologue that every actor brings it's the same monologue I'm not familiar with from a Kit Marlowe play.
Yeah.
And he's like, just listen. Is this the face that launched 1,000 ships? Is that what it is? And then you just hear it like over and over again. They make you as the audience sick of it, and you can feel that Shakespeare's getting really sick of it. He's built up as this like villain enemy of Shakespeare, but then Shakespeare at the end of the first act runs into Kit Marlowe in a bar, and he's like unfortunately like a very handsome nice guy.
He is, and he's so nice that
he starts giving him the play.
Yes, and he's like, wait, Mercutio, that's a great name.
No, he literally is like, there's a best friend, Mercutio, and he just is like biting his finger, and he's like, great name.
It's a really good name.
It's a really good name. Like literally, like the way that this movie frames it is Romeo and Juliet would never have even gotten started if it wasn't for Kit Marlowe. So Shakespeare gives Lord Wessex his name as Kit Marlowe out of panic.
Yeah.
And then
he's like, got it on lock. So he goes, so there's a big misunderstanding that
classic Shakespearean misunderstanding.
Yes, so especially after the Queen says Viola has been plucked, that Lord Wessex is like, oh, she's getting plucked all right nightly by
that motherfucker Kit Marlowe.
I'll kill him.
So then Kit Marlowe dies in a bar fight, which is real. That's real history.
Oh, I love that. Not that he died, but I love the history.
He died in a bar fight with his own knife in his eye or something like that.
Oh, Jesus.
But anyway, Shakespeare hears that Kit Marlowe died in a bar fight, and he's like, I did that to him. And I would think the exact same thing. I did that to him.
Yeah, bitch, he did. And then there's almost I was wondering if it was almost going to be a Romeo Juliet moment, because then there's a misunderstanding, because he says, Lord Wessex is passing Viola on her way to church, and he says, oh, have you not heard? That actor
you're fucking
that actor that
basically.
You love, he died.
the playwright
that you
actor.
love, he died, and that's all he said.
And she's like, fuck.
And even the nurse is like, oh, my lady.
Okay. Because the nurse is like, oh my god, you've been super fucking that guy. Honestly, straight up, this is fucked up maybe, but like not really. If I were Viola and I heard that Shakespeare died, I would feel sad. And I would also feel relief because it gets me out of this situation. I don't have to make a choice anymore.
That's so true.
You know what I mean?
I don't think she was
only sad
thinking,
romantically.
Yeah, logically.
It's a very romantic. Like the romance, it's laid on thick. Like this is only a romantic movie. It's so saccharine in a way that is not real. Like when Thomas Kent is like doing his like rehearsals on stage and he puts his hand through the curtain and Shakespeare's like making out with his hand, and I'm like, no man of mine has ever been like, let me tongue that hand. Shakespeare is such a romantic. He's a romantic.
He's just that's his whole thing, and it's
hard for me to envision him writing comedies.
Yeah,
you know,
which is. I think that is what the Queen asked for initially.
The Queen, I don't remember initially, but definitely at the end, she's like, tell Mr. Shakespeare something a bit more cheerful next time. Because everyone's just like completely shell-shocked from the ending of Romeo and Juliet.
Which is fair.
Imagine you didn't know Romeo and Juliet and you saw it for the first time ever and you're just like, oh fuck.
My God. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. And I thought, I always... So Shakespeare's just text. There's basically no scene directions.
Okay.
And so I always forget that it's not like canon, the Leonardo DiCaprio Claire Danes version, where technically in that movie she wakes up as he's dying. They're long enough to make eye contact, and that to me is like so much more brutal.
I agree,
and we will cover that on this show.
Jason
eventually
was talking to me about that because he says it's like that in the what is it, the 60s or the 70s one?
Yeah,
with the
one
nudity?
where they're actually like 15 years old, and we should never have produced that version.
And I agree that is
it's
more
so brutal. Just a split second of knowing you were wrong before you die. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
There's a very funny part at the end. Okay, so basically I can't remember. Okay, why does the actor who is playing Romeo, how come he can no longer play Romeo and then Shakespeare has to play Romeo at the end?
It's Thomas Kent.
Oh, Thomas Kent was Romeo. That's right.
Thomas Kent is cast as... So that's like the big climax of the movie is that the play has to go on or a lot of people are going to lose money.
Yeah.
Thomas Kent, at the very... Lord Wessex tattles, or like that kid tattles.
I think
Lord
it's
Wessex.
the kid because there's a spiteful kid,
an unfortunate street kid
who
because
gets
it's like,
out
is he spiteful or does he just need to eat dinner?
You know,
they frame him as a bit of a douche.
They frame him as like a psychopath. He's like, I love hurting animals.
He's like, I love the part of the play where they stabbed each other.
He's like, my favorite part.
Oh yeah, there's a scene where he's feeding a mouse to a cat, and the cat's like,
yeah, he's like playing with the mice and then feeding them to cats. And anyway, so she gets found out, a woman,
like publicly. I remember public indecency and sedition, and I was like, God, people used to trip about the dumbest shit.
I know. Jason was so confused. He kept asking me. He's like, "What's the big deal?"
It just wasn't allowed. Women aren't allowed. Women aren't allowed.
Like in general, I was like, "Yeah, man."
Like women aren't allowed basically out of the house. This is like remember we talked about in the history of gossip about how like the formation of the Church of England. I'll say of the Catholic Church, and then the Church of England kind of like layered on, but like women were expected to stay home. End of sentence. Like with the church made it so, you know.
Yes.
So like them having any hobbies outside of the home, any kind of money earning, absolutely not. Anything they could do without a man. And then also like I think something about like the duplicity of play acting. Eve's woman is already duplicitous enough.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. It's
really hard.
It's so wild. I mean, that's not
especially
wild, but it's like instead of doing that, let's just all be okay with like men dressing up as women.
As that exactly. It's like,
isn't that crazy?
It's really crazy. It's really different. Like this is back in the days of men wearing tights and high heels though.
Yeah,
you know?
true.
It's really hard to fathom, Leela, especially coming up in theater these days, which is so women heavy.
Yeah.
It's really hard to fathom a day when women were straight up not allowed. And it's just because they weren't allowed to leave the house.
Yeah. and then they saw women on stage and they're like, oh, this is like way better.
Well, and you have to think about like, I mean, it's in particular, Viola as a highborn woman being in these scenes, blocking these like fight choreographies with these men touching her body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's wildly inappropriate.
Yes. And her just being beheld by a large group of commoners.
Look not upon me. You're supposed to keep like your gaze down.
Yes.
Which our Viola would never.
No, but
she kind of does.
At the end, Viola, aka Thomas Kent, gets found out, so then she can no longer be in the play.
So now Shakespeare, they don't have understudies.
Yeah.
So Shakespeare himself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like Shakespeare tooting his own horn in this movie.
A lot.
He's like, I'll say all these cool dope words. Like every time he's delivering a Romeo line with like all his pussy, I'm like, I wonder if you could do this for somebody else's writing. I don't think you could.
No. And he does a great job. and then basically Jeffrey Rush is like, oh my God, you guys, our Juliet, who was like a prepubescent boy.
Oh my God, this is so stupid.
He hit puberty last night.
He can't get his voice to go up again, which is it's silly because like even deep voices can do falsetto. Fucking Carson from Downton Abbey was doing Ladybird.
But
Ladybird.
I guess like the second that you are experiencing the voice drop,
it's like too
like,
transitional.
There's nothing to do.
Yeah, so it's like she can't. I mean, she could have gone on.
They were gonna like not have. I was like, send her on.
Send a deep voiced
anybody
send a hot
send
deep
someone
Juliet.
on. The show must go on. So then he goes upstairs.
Well, she is about to go on.
Oh,
she's
that's
like
right.
stepping onto the stage when they. Well,
right.
oh yeah, it's Jeffrey Rush rushes up to Mr. Fennyman, who's sitting in the audience because he's
next
the owner.
To in the Juliet.
Yeah, in like the nobility section.
Next to Viola,
next to Viola in the nobility section, and he's like, oh my God, that guy Sam, his voice dropped and he can't be Juliet. Oh well, like we needed Juliet. And Viola's like, what happened to Sam? And Jeffrey Rush is like, who are you? And she's like, Thomas Kent. And he, in a pure like business owner bliss, is like, can you go on right this second? And she's like, yeah, I'll go on right this second.
Yep, I got this.
Because the finale, this is such a stupid episode. The finale happens like the play Romeo and Juliet, the debut viewing is like the afternoon after her wedding. She ran away. She got married to Wessex, ran away to go see the debut showing of Romeo and Juliet.
Yes.
So she is married, but she's like, I'm going to do my one last, because she's shipping off to godforsaken Virginia.
And let me just say
night.
something. Famously, at least to us Virginians, the first English colony in Virginia was founded when? 1607. When did this movie take place? 1590s. What is happening? What does he mean he has a colony there?
Okay, well, first of all, I will say, okay, hold on. But did it say a date at the beginning of the episode of the movie?
It was the 1590.
It does say 1593. Okay, now give me just 1 second.
Because
I'm gonna Google Virginia.
That's bullshit right there.
Right, Virginia, because like people were here before it was officially a colony. Hold on. You're right. 1606. Okay, hold on. Here's what it is. The first effort to create an English settlement in Virginia was chartered in 1584.
Okay.
And established in 1585. The resulting Roanoke colony lasted for 3 attempts, totaling 6 years. Okay, so what you said it was 1593.
Yeah.
In 1590, the colony was abandoned, but 20 years later, the colony was resettled at Jamestown. They were taking her to fucking abandoned
Roanoke.
Abandoned Roanoke.
No.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's just they just had to do
plot
that.
hole. No, I think that they just didn't count that there was going to be like Virginians that know that watch this.
Okay, like maybe this is we're both Virginians. Maybe this, and like I will say, we had a lot of state history growing up.
A lot of Jamestown.
I think that people outside of Virginia know when our first colony was.
I would
colonized.
I would hope so. I would think so. Anyway, that did piss me off a little bit for no reason. I was just like, but that's not right.
That's not right. Well, it takes 45 years to sail across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Okay, good point. So anyways, it's like the Virginia is like such a villain in this movie.
Yeah, Virginia.
So then Thomas Kent plays Juliet, and he does a great job. And then like at the end of the play, everyone is like completely shell shocked from the trauma. They do such a good job because they're actually in love. And the other bad guy, the guy who owns the other theater, I don't know, Mr. Butthole, he shows up with like the cops being like, there's a woman on stage. And it's so funny because Jim Carter, who's playing the very old, very deep voiced nurse, is like, me?
And they're so dumb. They're like, yes. And then he marches over and like lifts the skirts up.
That's the first time.
Oh,
that's
okay.
the first time when they get Thomas Kent the first time. No, they lift up the skirts of Sam, who's playing Juliet. And I guess you can just see his fucking dill pickle through his pants. I don't know. Or maybe he's not wearing anything under there.
Maybe he's not wearing anything.
But they're like, wow, that's a bait and tackle. But no, at the very end, the queen, because the cop that comes, the bad guy cop, whatever, I don't know who he is. He comes over and he's like, in the name of Queen Elizabeth, blah, blah, blah. And like, this is sedition in the name of Queen Elizabeth. And then there's like, in the audience, you hear, Lord, whatever. And Dame Judi Dench stands up and is like, careful with my name, you will wear it out. Her little voice is so good.
Yes.
So she gets on stage and they're like, this woman is a woman. And she's like, Sir Master Thomas Kent, come forward. And he curtsies instead of bowing. And then he remembers to bow because it's Gwyneth Paltrow. And then she's like, indeed, the illusion is remarkable. You could be forgiven for like misunderstanding or whatever. It's so cool. Yeah.
And then she says something really like awesome and cunty, and I can't remember what it is. It's something
not even one inkling of what it was.
No, I thought maybe you had it memorized.
Say one. What about what?
And something about, I don't know. Maybe that's.
Oh my god. What?
I thought because I remember her saying something, and me and Jason were like, yeah.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Queen Elizabeth quotes Shakespeare in love. Because I remember cheering yeah too. Give me a second. Have her then, but you're a lordly fool. She's been plucked since I saw her last, and not by you. It takes a woman to know it. So good.
It's good.
It's
a storm.
Deep. Queen, I'm finding this for you, my love. I might not be able to. I'm gonna try one more thing. I know something of a woman in a man's profession. Is that one?
Oh, I think it was that.
Yes, by God, I do know about that.
It's on the nose, but I still cheered.
She has like 6 lines. Let her,
It's like, woo, yeah, girl power, feminism.
Yeah, until she's like, until Thomas, or I think it's Lord Wessex, is like, how is this to end? Because his brand new wife is like running rampant on him.
Yeah.
And Queen Elizabeth is like, those that God have bound in marriage, not even I can separate. And I'm like, okay.
Well, you could have, but you could.
You remember when King Henry VIII started a new church? That's fine.
Yeah, and he separated a lot of himself from a lot of women. So
one of our favorite quotes in like the IMDb quotes section: "That woman is a woman." What do you think is like the best part of this movie? Like, did you enjoy it generally? Right?
Yeah, I did.
What do you think is like the best part of this movie?
I think that for me, the sets are so fun to look at. I think
even just like the theater, which is just like wood.
Yeah, the theater looks great.
Yeah.
Even the extras are amazing. I love looking at them.
Very active extras. If you look at the back, there's certain movies I always cite.
Yeah,
the first couple Harry Potter movies as like, if you look at any of the extras, absolutely ruined. The scene is ruined.
Yes,
but like if you look at extras in the background, they're all like exactly right.
Well, it's probably I mean, a lot of many actors love Shakespeare, and so
yeah,
I'm sure
I think that's
to get an opportunity.
I think that's how Ben Affleck got here. I think he like heard about this and was like, please, 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 I would love to do something other than like Dogma.
Yeah, please.
Like something literary.
I don't want to be a douchey Boston guy.
I think I wouldn't even call this like literary in terms of like film. I would call this like pop literary.
Pop literary. Well, and I think one of the tags for this I read was like a movie about Shakespeare made for the 1990s.
So true. So true.
I love the color grading. Everything is very bright, 90s pop. There's no muted drabness at all. Like,
yeah, it's really
even in disgusting muddy England.
Yeah, I love that one guy, Mr. Fennyman. Shakespeare, every choice he makes in this movie is to like appease someone. He's like, you can be the apothecary. Mr. Fennyman's like, where's the money you owe me? You're like, whatever. And he's like, you can play the apothecary. And Mr. Fennyman's like,
I could play the apothecary.
He's like, I have a hat that is perfect for this. And then later you see the hat and you're like, it's a pretty good hat.
Honestly,
it's like vivid it's like cobalt blue.
Yeah.
One random thing that I looked up like 100 years ago, Rupert Everett, who you said plays Kit Marlowe, he has like I think he's in 2 scenes, or is it just the one?
I believe it's 2.
He's in 2 scenes. He has like a non-zero amount of speaking lines, and he's like a big part of, I think, like Shakespeare's narrative in this. He's not credited.
Wow, really?
He's straight up not credited. And I was trying to remember where I've seen him before, so I pulled up his IMDb, and I'm 150% remembering him as Secundus from Stardust. Have you seen Stardust?
I haven't.
Oh my god. You have to see Stardust. It's unfortunately written by Neil Gaiman, but the movie is so good, and it's Claire Danes.
Oh my god.
As Stardust. But the point is that, like, I don't even remember why, but there's like a family of like heirs, and they're called like Firstus, Secundus, like Thirdus, like, and they're all like killing each other one by one trying to get the money. So Rupert Everett plays Secundus, and I can't believe you haven't seen Stardust. Way more than this movie. It's something you should have seen already. I don't like to shame people for not seeing things, but like, you for your own self should watch that urgently. Fair. We can cover it on the pod because it's nostalgic and literary. And
I would say what I really know Rupert Everett from would be My Best Friend's Wedding with Julia Roberts.
I've never seen that one.
She's like I would say it's like her least likable character, so it's tough. It's still Julia Roberts, so you know, she's so cute, but he plays her gay best friend.
Oh, he has that energy a little bit.
Yeah.
Kit Marlowe, really hot. I would have fucked him.
Oh yeah. He's got that jaw. He's got that like villainous jaw that it's like,
well, but it doesn't have to be villainous, but it's hot.
Yeah.
Rupert Everett also apparently was in a 2025 adaptation called Juliet and Romeo, which is like a pop Romeo and Juliet. Unfortunately, I hate to break this to everyone, but on IMDb, the credited writers, Shakespeare is only number 2 in Juliet and Romeo. But Rupert Everett plays Lord Capulet.
Okay.
Lord Capulet, yeah. And Rebel Wilson plays Lady Capulet.
Huh.
Who else is in this? It's a kind of Jason Isaacs plays Lord Montague.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know if I'll recognize anyone else.
Bunch of old people.
But I would watch that. Even if, it seems bad because I've never ever heard of it.
Yeah.
I've got my finger on the pulse of like Shakespearean pop culture adaptations. You've seen 6? Oh wait, no, that's Henry VIII. I got confused.
Yeah, but that's not a
no Juliet. I know, but I'm talking about plays.
Oh yeah, I have seen.
It's a pop culture. No, Juliet is the name of a play that's coming to Richmond this spring about like Juliet's life after Romeo and Juliet. She didn't die.
Okay, yeah,
which I definitely want to see.
Yeah, I would see that.
Okay, hell yeah. Are you ready for maybe some trivia?
I'm so ready.
Oh, I think I like allude. I think when I brought up these actors, I think I forgot to mention we were talking about Imelda Staunton and Jim Carter, who plays the nurse.
Yeah,
they're both playing nurses, which is kind of funny. They're married in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I've been watching Downton Abbey for the first time recently, and I texted Haley and I was like, oh my god, and they both played nurses in this movie. Dame Judi Dench won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her role as Queen Elizabeth I, with her screen time as 6 minutes.
It well earned. She makes a big impact.
It's the second shortest performance to win an Oscar. She's so good though.
She's great.
It's something about being able to like be like, fuck you, I'm God.
Yeah.
With a hairline that goes all the way back.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. 1998 was the only year that 2 actresses were nominated for Academy Awards for playing the same character in 2 different movies. Dame Judi Dench was nominated for Best Actress in a Supporting Role for playing Queen Elizabeth I, and Cate Blanchett was nominated for Best Actress for playing Queen Elizabeth I in Elizabeth. Have you seen this?
I have not. Now, is this the Elizabeth with the kind of the scary one with the terrible teeth, or is this the one where Shakespeare? Okay, no, hot. She's hot.
It's Cate Blanchett. She's scary and hot.
Yes, because Jason was saying he has memories of like a movie about that. Must be this one where Shakespeare is one of her lovers. That can't be.
Wait, okay, hold on. Okay, wait, okay. Also, we're talking about Shakespeare in Love and Elizabeth, 1998. Joseph Fiennes is the love interest in both of these movies.
Yes.
And Jeffrey Rush was nominated for a BAFTA award for his performances in each of these movies.
Oh my God.
There's only 4 British actors and they're all in this movie.
That's really crazy.
Dame Judi Dench was so taken with the full-size replica set of the Rose Theater that Miramax gave it to her to take home.
Here you go.
Variety reported in early 99 that she was looking for a site and a financial backer so it could be used as a working theater.
Oh, I love that.
Let me see. Some of these are long. Oh, some of these are long. Okay, hold on. William Shakespeare is shown playing Romeo in Romeo and Juliet. Although no such claim appears in most biographies of Shakespeare, he is believed to have originated other famous roles in his own plays, such as the Ghost in Hamlet, Old Adam is in As You Like It, and Lord Brown in Love's Labour's Lost.
Oh, okay.
He's fuck Ben Affleck. He strikes me as a fucking diva, Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I have it all memorized.
I was wondering about how these actors were able to memorize their lines back then, because while the printing press was invented before this, it was like invented like the late
1500 around there.
Right around 1500. Obviously, like, poor playwrights probably didn't just have access to use printing presses. They may have, but
I think it depends on who was backing them.
Yeah, but I read that it's because of how they were educated back then. They were all educated with memorization and a method called rote, R-O-T-E.
Yeah, instead of like comprehension.
Yeah, so like they were used to just drilling and drilling and drilling, and they would receive their lines, but it would only be their lines and like maybe like the word or two before theirs. So
wow,
they had to really pay attention,
which is good.
And they had to have that skill of memorization because, like in this movie, sometimes the play is still being written, like sometimes major things are changed during rehearsal. They would have really long rehearsals during short periods of time.
It seemed like they were rehearsing all day, every day.
Yes.
That's why I'm like, Viola must have had no supervision.
Yeah.
How could she just be there all day, every day? She's a fucking noblewoman.
I guess like
her
the
nurse, whole point is social interaction.
Her nurse just like must have had her back like the whole time. And I will say the nurse in Romeo and Juliet's like a lot more fussy than her. Also.
And fun.
Very fussy and fun.
Imelda Stanton was like criminally underused in this movie. Yeah. She has like almost no lines.
She could have been more shrill. I don't normally say that about women.
No, I agree. Or like, yeah, like a Mrs. Bennett type of like panic.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, my lady's getting laid. Don't worry.
I was like, wow, you're really a homie. Yeah, I played an iteration of the nurse before in a like Dr. Seuss version of Romeo and Juliet.
That's fun.
It was very fun. It's such a fun role.
Seems right for you.
Thanks. I did like
short and fussy and big.
I did like a Jewish mother accent the whole time and got a good reception.
Yeah.
And they patted my butt and my boobs even more.
Oh my god.
It's really funny. So yes. Okay, wait. More trivia, sorry.
Well, we're almost done.
Okay.
At the very end, okay, so like Viola gets like sent off to Virginia or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the closure at the end of the movie is that Shakespeare is now inspired to write Twelfth Night, because basically when she leaves him, she's like, instead of thinking about me like being married to this man and like living far away, imagine that I, in a fun way, am in a shipwreck. And like in a fun way, I wash up on an island, right? That's like their parting words to each other. So like the end of the movie shows Viola, I think, like in Shakespeare's imagination as he's starting to write Twelfth Night, like nearly drowning in a shipwreck. And that is how Twelfth Night starts. But like there's a lot of artistic license being taken. Like Twelfth Night does not open on a deserted beach, but in an Italian court. And you can even see she's walking onto a deserted beach that looks like an island in the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
But the writing that's like transposed over it, he's writing like, what court is this? And I'm like, the court of the jungle.
Yeah.
Mulaney. But, and also like, she's not the sole survivor, Viola, in 12th Night. Then her name's Viola in 12th Night.
Yes.
She's not the sole survivor. There's like other people who survive. And then also like there's a voiceover which is introducing 12th Night during all this like montage ending. But apparently it's not, I don't remember 12th Night the same way I remember like Romeo and Juliet line by line. Apparently the language that's at the very end there is not at all from Shakespeare, but it's actually written by F. Scott Fitzgerald, who he was like obsessed with Shakespeare and he was like writing about 12th Night, and they were like, okay, sure, let's put that in this movie. Is that so random?
Yeah, that's very strange. So everything I know about 12th Night, I know from She's the Man. So
I will say, like, 12th Night is a really She's the Man is not a bad interpretation of the Y2K persuasion, but 12th Night is really fun to me. I find it to be like quite a fun play, and if it ever shows at Agecroft, I think it's playing in the summer. Okay. I think that's part of why I got the season pass, is because it's playing this summer, if I remember correctly. Right. It might be As You Like It. I get those two confused.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll see either one. Wait, which did we see As You Like It most recently?
No, we
saw Midsummer, but I thought we saw something else.
We saw Much Ado About Nothing.
Much Ado About Nothing. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm like really familiar with all the comedies, and I'm like, except for Merry Wives of Windsor, as you guys know if you're listening to the bonus show, because we did our John Tucker Must Die bonus episode without realizing it was the Merry Wives of Windsor. I'm familiar with all his comedies and only one of his tragedies. No, that's not true, because I fuck with Macbeth and Hamlet too. His obscure, I'm like a classic like high school student Shakespeare. Like his obscure one. Like I was doing some research for like some other episode we'll record someday on this podcast, and they were talking about like Cressida, and I was like, I don't know who Cressida is. You know, I know that's a Shakespeare thing, but I couldn't tell you anything about Cressida.
And maybe we'll do a deep dive and maybe even get Haley or Brooke or somebody on to talk about Shakespeare and like about his life and, you know, theories.
I think it would be good to do an episode about how people these days think he's like a highfalutin, like high literary guy, and he was just like a horny bastard.
Yeah, just a man who just like created like not garbage for the masses, but I mean, kind of.
He was like a deeply witty, like deeply hilarious guy who only made potty jokes and sex jokes. Yeah, for sure. Do you have anything else to say about Shakespeare in Love?
I don't think so.
Let's do one out. Okay, one out of. Valentine's Day is February 14th. Give Shakespeare in Love 1 out of 14 stars.
Okay.
And tell us why.
All right. I'm going to give Shakespeare in Love, let's say 13 out of 14 stars.
Wow. She's a romantic, guys.
I loved it. I love this kind of movie. I knew you would.
I was like, I can't believe you haven't seen this. I know.
I love this kind of movie. I love movies that are set not movies that were made right around this time. It has a real pre 9/11 heart to it.
Wait, you're so right. Say more about that though. Like how has it changed after 9/11?
Okay, so after 9/11, you may have noticed a lot of movies aren't made. So it's like visually, movies aren't really bright in color or weren't really bright and colorful for a while.
Nothing can be happy because our world has known trauma.
So like things kind of turned almost like everything looked like Twilight, like muted, very blue grayscale. Which is a choice that can work sometimes, but
Twilight, it was perfect because as we mentioned in our later Twilight episodes, when you turn up the saturation, all the vampires have rosy cheeks.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, that's just an English boy.
That's an English boy.
I loved the visual look of this. It felt very comforting and nostalgic, even though I haven't seen it before. It felt like the type of movie I have seen and loved before.
Yeah, I get that. I'm trying to think of like what it even reminds me of.
Yeah,
but it just reminds me of itself.
It reminds me of any comedy that's made around that time, even non historical ones.
Yeah, it's just like a vibrant, but I would not say like oversaturated.
No,
palette.
not oversaturated, but vibrant,
joyful,
fun, even during scenes where there is like torture taking place.
That happens at the beginning. Jeffrey Rush is having his like boots boiled or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like hilarious.
And it's so funny. The performances are just, everyone is really, as you said, like putting their whole pussies into these performances. And it's really fun to watch people having fun like this.
And something I didn't mention that I'd like to mention now is like, there's a lot of men in this movie, and there's more than one scene of like men stomping angrily.
Yeah.
But they're all wearing like pantaloons, like really big puffy pantaloons. So there's like this one scene where it's like a team of like 6 bros in like giant pantaloons, and they're like stomping angrily, and their pants are just like whoop,
swishing
whoop,
back
whoop,
and
whoop,
forth.
whoop, whoop. It's so funny. The costumes are a lot of fun.
The costumes are amazing. I really appreciated pretty much every aspect. I felt like Gwyneth's English accent was fine.
Oh my
God,
I forgot she wasn't British.
Yeah.
She never, there was never a line that took me out of it. In a way where like you know, for some like obvious examples, like Peter Dinklage in Game of Thrones or something, every like 3 minutes you're like, oh, not that one.
No, you can't
Where's
say that
your dialect
word.
coach?
Yeah. So yeah, in general, I thought that the performances were great, the sets were great, the costumes were great. I thought the direction was really great. You could tell that it seemed like everyone was having a good time there. Production, probably not great because it was a Harvey Weinstein production.
Well,
we hate that, but
we do hate that.
I'm glad they prevailed.
I feel like he like didn't touch any of these though. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just his name. I feel like he had nothing to do with this other than his name and his money. You know what I mean?
So that's our hope.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would probably give this, I was thinking like 11 or 12 out of 14. I think that like the historical inaccuracies about Viola just like kind of being a slut, which we support her. I just think it would have been really easy to add a line or two about like, for example, Lord Wessex, when Elizabeth I is like, she's been plucked lately and not by you, Lord Wessex should be like, I'll go to her father at once.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth could be like, do you think you'll ever find as fair a hoe as this, even if you do go to her father? You know what I mean? Like, why ruin a good thing? She's obviously like really cool. You know what I mean? Like they could have, there should have been just like, you, without adding a lot of time.
Yeah.
You could have added a little bit more of like, she can't just like be fucking.
Yeah, there's like there's no consequences. There's no shame.
Absolutely. I mean, her consequence is the same consequence she would have experienced if she had just done everything right, which is being married to someone she doesn't love and being shipped away against her will.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And then like, yeah. I mean, I fucking love this movie. Like, I really do. It does exactly what it sets out to do, which is to be like a fun romantic romp. That even though it doesn't end happy, like in love, it does end, I think, on like an up note of his writer's block being gone.
Yeah.
And she's like, imagine I'm shipwrecked on it does. And so like you as the viewer can be like, maybe she does just wash up in the Caribbean and become a queen or something. Although she's way too pale to be a Caribbean queen.
Yeah.
She could never endure it.
Also, Jason's like, no way she wouldn't have drowned with all those heavy dresses. Also,
we've all seen parts of the Caribbean.
Yeah. Cut that thing off.
Yeah. She's wearing a wig, surely. Or extensions, probably.
There's
her hair's like down to her butt.
Yeah, I think that she had definitely extensions. Other than that, I feel like it was just extensions. Her hairline looked very realistic.
It's a realistic hairline,
and she was known at the time for having beautiful hair.
Oh,
so.
It's probably extensions because like. I think that I feel like her hair had to be pretty short at this time because when she plays as Thomas Kent, she's wearing a wig that just like the wig technology did not exist in 1600. Like her wig, like the Thomas Kent hair, that looks real. I don't know how they did that.
I was
like,
also,
where's any of her hair?
I was wondering too.
She must have really thin hair.
How did she get that kind of convincing like fake mustache goatee on there? What was that? How did she stick it on?
Oh, you mean in the Eldon days?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Spit.
Like, I know. Honey
and spit.
Honey and pubes. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Her disguise was very much of 1998 technology.
I did like, there's a scene where Shakespeare sneaks onto her taxi boat when they're crossing the Thames and she's still dressed as Thomas Kent. And Shakespeare's like, I love Viola. She's like, her breasts are like golden apples and her eyes are like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And like, oh my God, I wish I could like fucking lick and just slip a tongue into those lips. And she's like, And she's like, mwah! And then she kisses him as Thomas Kent and runs away. And Shakespeare's like, wait a second.
Did
that just happen?
There's some like 1998 like homoeroticism, and by 1998 I mean they like dance eagerly away from that line. But there's definitely some, if you're just looking at it, some like fun gay stuff.
And then he goes, wait, who lives there? Whose house is that? And the taxi driver's like, that's Lady Viola's, wherever Lady Viola lives. That's Lady Viola. He goes, disguise wouldn't fool a child.
Which is mean because it's like a really good disguise.
And also fools everyone.
It fools literally everyone. There's also that funny scene where like the classic, like, that woman is a woman.
Yeah.
Like it happens twice. The first time it happens and they're like, oh yes, Thomas Kent isn't a woman. And that street urchin puts like a mouse down the back of Viola. So she goes, ah, 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 and like knocks her own wig off. And it's funny because it's like the smallest wig you've ever seen, with just like bounds and bounds and bounds of like perfectly waved hair coming out from underneath it. And I'm like, how did they even film this in seriousness?
It's a magic trick.
It's a magic trick.
Yeah. Very
silly. So anyway, you'll be watching this one again?
I will definitely be rewatching this.
Yeah, I love it. Well, that's it for Burn Before Reading.
Until next week, remember,
the love is part of you. Wait, happy Valentine's Day. Your cringe is part of you.
And the woman is a woman.
She's a woman.
Thanks for listening to Burn Before Reading.
Created by me, Christina Kahn.
Hosted and produced by Christina Kahn and me, Leela Hilton.
Logo designed by Michael Hardison. Follow him on Instagram at RoyGBivRVA or check out his work at wildlingpress.com.
Theme music by Sakura Wishes.
Find me online at Christina Kahn.
And find me at Leels for Reels.
Follow the podcast on Instagram and Tumblr at BurnBeforePod.
Or feel free to give us an email at burnbeforepod@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening, friends.
See you next time.